So there are reports out now saying that Trump's Supreme Court nominee to replace RBG on the Supreme Court will likely be Judge Amy Coney Barrett, who was part of this religious cult that inspired the TV series The Handmaid's Tale. So who might be on the Supreme Court, somebody who was part of a religious cult that inspired the writing of the Handmaid's Tale book that has now become the TV series, the widely popular TV series. And again, this is Judge Amy Coney Barrett, currently on the U.S. Court of Appeals, the 7th Circuit. Damn, I mean, and there she is. So, yeah, Majority Leader McConnell said the Senate would move to confirm Trump's nominee quite possibly before Election Day. This has drawn howls of hypocrisy from Democrats. What, the Republicans are full of hypocrisy. What the fuck did you expect? Come on. And Pelosi has already said that, you know, she's just gonna let the process play out. She's not going to try to stop this nomination from happening. She said she wasn't willing to, you know, cause a government shutdown to stop this or anything. So Democrats are resistance in name only. So more than likely this will probably happen, and it'll just depend on if enough, if any, what is it, Susan Collins and another senator, maybe Murkowski from Alaska, have said that they won't vote on this. So we'll see. And then how GOP senators responded when shown their past remarks on Supreme. Again, they're all fucking hypocrites. Talking out one side of the mouth 1 minute, and then the next, when it doesn't serve them politically, doing the complete opposite. That's to be expected. And again, this could have all been avoided very easily. Had RBG retired during the Obama administration, guess what? We wouldn't be having this discussion right now. And also point out, like, how much of a democracy do we really have left in the United States when so much rides on if this next Supreme Court justice? I mean, it's pretty telling in my opinion. Critics point to her rulings. This is the Amy Coney Barrett, including 2019 decision that made it easier for students accused of sexual assault to challenge universities' handling of their cases, especially their opposition to abortion. This causes for concern. Let's see. And here, so look at this. Her cult literally inspired Margaret Atwood's book. That's cool. Okay, where do we go? Here's the article on this. Receipts. Got to have our receipts. Get the fuck out of there. Amy Coney Barrett, a favorite to be President Trump's Supreme Court nominee to replace RBG, is affiliated with a type of Christian religious group that served as inspiration for Margaret Atwood's dystopian novel, The Handmaid's Tale. Jesus Christ. Barrett, a devout Catholic, and her husband both belong to the Peoples of Praise group. Current and former members have said, according to New York Times, their fathers have served as leaders in the group. The Charismatic Christian Parachurch Org, which is founded in South Bend in 1971, teaches that men have authority over their wives, very similar to The Handmaid's Tale. Members swear a lifelong oath of loyalty to one another and are expected to donate at least 5% of their earnings to the group. Members of the People's Praise are assigned to personal advisors of the same sex called... Oh, shut the fuck up. Called a head for men and a handmaid for women, until the rise in popularity of Atwood's novel and the television series based on it forced a change in the latter. Even like the language. Oh man. Atwood herself has previously referred, again the author of The Handmaid's Tale, the novel, previously referred to the practices of a charismatic Catholic group motivating her to write The Handmaid's Tale, set in the fictional Gilead, where women's bodies are governed and treated as the property of the state under a theocratic regime. I delayed writing it for about 3 years after I got the idea because I felt it was too crazy. Then two things happened. I started noticing a lot of things I thought I was more or less making up were now happening, and indeed more of them have happened since the publication of the book. She added, there's a sect now, a Catholic charismatic spin-off, which calls the women handmaids. They don't go in for polygamy of this kind, but they do threaten the handmaids according to biblical verse I use in the book. Sit down and shut up. Atwood had not elaborated which sect she was referring to. I mean, goddamn. People of Praise has never had a presence in the state of New York. What is People of Praise? Not as a church, but a charismatic Christian community. The group has about 1,700 members, 22 cities. I mean, so again, just a fundamentalist. Catholic, likely going to be on the Supreme Court if confirmed by the Senate, obviously. I mean, goddamn. Let's see. Naked paragraph, threat to democracy. But again, this was all very much to be expected under Trump, with the Republicans in control of the Senate. They were always going to do this kind of shit, okay? And again, RGB, had she not been so selfish, frankly, she should have retired under Obama and we wouldn't be going through this right now.
Good evening, Leisha. Good evening to you, Nora. Judge Amy Coney Barrett will be President Trump's third Supreme Court nominee. Unlike for his previous two nominees, who he introduced in prime time, the president plans to make the official announcement tomorrow evening during a Rose Garden ceremony here at the White House. While on a 3-state campaign spree, President Trump built up momentum for the big announcement.
We are appointing a Supreme Court justice for
Tonight, CBS News has learned the president is expected to nominate federal appeals judge Amy Coney Barrett to replace Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The 48-year-old mother of 7 was an early frontrunner, especially after the president considered her to replace Justice Anthony Kennedy in 2018. Barrett clerked for conservative icon Justice Antonin Scalia and became a favorite among religious groups for her anti-abortion views.
Wonderful.
This week, Barrett made 2 trips to the White House and met with President Trump. He's pushing Congress to confirm her before Election Day, arguing a full court could be needed to rule on the results.
It's going to be a fantastic night, November 3rd. Now, I don't know, with this ballot situation.
Mr. Trump says he may not accept the results of the race if voters mail in their ballots, despite his own FBI director, Christopher Wray, saying there is no evidence of fraudulent voting by mail. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows doubted Wray's competence.
With all due respect to Director Wray, he has a hard time finding emails in his own FBI, let alone figuring out whether there's any kind of voter fraud.
Meadows also suggested some mail-in ballots should not count.
Jesus, I mean, just so much lies, obviously, from the Trump administration continually. Voting by mail is much safer than using electronic voting machines. Voting by mail, there is an actual paper trail. Voting machines can be hacked into, those numbers manipulated.
Should we allow votes to come in and be counted counted a week after November 3rd. I don't.
And that's why they have been attacking the post office, to slow down voting by mail, because they think these Trump voters are maybe more likely to vote in person or something.
Believe so.
But at least 18 states and Washington, D.C. accept ballots after Election Day, as long as they are postmarked by then. The Biden team, anticipating a fierce fight over voting, has hundreds of attorneys nationwide standing ready.
The last thing we need is, the equivalent of a coup. I mean, this is not who we are. We'll have an election.
Well, we support coups in all these other countries when it serves the interests of the American empire.
We always did that, and he'll leave.
Judge Barrett is already well known on Capitol Hill, having just gone through the confirmation process to become a federal judge in 2017. Republicans consider her a sure bet, but some Democrats have suggested they will refuse to meet with Barrett before her hearing to become a justice. Nora?
All right, so full steam ahead by the Trump admin to try to get this religious wacko on the Supreme Court. So let's see. So here's some stuff from her on immigration. Barrett has for the most part sided with the Trump administration on immigration cases, meaning she's highly anti-immigrant and xenophobic. Public charge rule. Barrett backed a State Department decision to deny a visa to the wife of an American citizen for allegedly trying to smuggle in children, despite the fact that the parents said the children had died in a drowning accident. The decision was considered, but the wife was still not given a visa. Fucking, he's trash, obviously. Death penalty. Catholic judges must answer some complex moral and legal questions in deciding whether to sit in death penalty cases. The right answers are not obvious. I mean, because Catholics are supposed to be opposed to the death penalty, right? It seems like there wouldn't be any type of equivocation there. I think that was the end of it. So, sketchy, bad on immigration. What is this? Abortion. Not good on abortion, anti-abortion. It's very interesting how conservatives claim to be the party of small government, but not when it comes to military, the police, or policing women's bodies with regards to abortion. She denied qualified immunity. Let's see. Well, if she did deny it, that's good, obviously. Due process. That was about the sexual assault on college campuses. I actually agree with this. She wrote a dissent, a case that upheld a Wisconsin law taking guns rights away from nonviolent felons. You served your time, should be able to have a gun. Why the fuck not? Alright, so that's Amy. Excuse me. Amy Coney Barrett, likely Supreme Court Justice nominee. What, Trump said he's going to make that tomorrow, and here's some of these GOP scoundrels with the flippity floppity McConnell.
The campaign is already underway. Voters are going to get to weigh in. It's about the principle.
You don't do this in an election year.
The American people will choose.
Let the American people consider it as part of deciding who to support in November.
That was was when Democrat Barack Obama was in the White House. Now many of the same senators you just saw are saying, don't wait. President Trump should get to choose Ginsburg's successor immediately.
We've got a situation. You just played a quote from me in 2016. We can play that game all day long where you can play a quote from Chuck Schumer saying you've got to confirm the nominee.
I don't disagree with that. That's what I'm just trying to get you to concede. This is really about who has the votes and who has the power at any given time, right?
So no, actually it isn't.
Here's what you said at that time.
Even Fox News calling him out.
A new president and new senators who can consider the next justice with the full faith of the American people.
Now, Garland was nominated 9 months before the election, and you were saying then, 9 months before the election, it was wrong to
Now
deny
it's less than 2
voters
months.
a chance to weigh in. So if it was wrong then, 9 months before the election, why is it okay now, 6 weeks before the election?
Good question, Chris Wallace.
So, Chris, in 2014, the American people elected a Republican majority of the Senate to put the brakes on President Obama's judicial nominations. In 2018, we had a referendum on this question. Just a month before the 2018 midterms, we had the vote on Justice Kavanaugh. There could not have been a clearer mandate because the American people didn't just re-elect Republicans, they expanded our majority.
If you look at history, if you actually look at what the precedent is, this has happened 29 times.
29 times, Chuck. There have been vacancies in the year of a presidential election.
Now, presidents have made nominations all 29 times. That's what presidents do.
If the shoe were on the other foot and the Democrats had the White House and the Senate, they would right now be trying to confirm another member of the Supreme Court.
You don't see any hypocrisy.
I don't know if the Democrats would, because they're such a weak party and don't really stand up or fight for anything, and then just the Republicans, frankly, do a much better job than the Republicans. So I don't even know if the Democrats would do that if they had control of the Senate and the White House. Unfortunately, they're so weak.
That position then and this position now.
Chris, the Senate majority is performing our constitutional duty and fulfilling the mandate that the voters gave us.
So you guys have this new explanation. Never once on the Senate floor, when election is just months away, in 2016, you said that people should be allowed to consider possible Supreme Court nominees as one factor in deciding who they'll support for president. This shouldn't even really be controversial. Then you said this is not about the person, it's about the principle involved, and I want to give the American people a voice in this. Republicans have said there should not be a bitter political fight. We have called on the president to spare the country this fight. The best way to avoid the fight is to agree to let the people decide. Senator, these are your words. Not once did you say, oh, it depends on what party the Senate holds versus the party of the president. This just sounds like a power grab, pure and simple.
Well, it is the Biden rule, and this is the president of the country. You haven't had...
There's no Biden rule.
Everyone knows that if the president were Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton and Chuck Schumer were the majority leader, the odds are 100%. 100%. There's no universe in which Nancy Pelosi would not have been the previous speaker saying, we are going to confirm this seat.
Again, this is totally in character behavior for the Republicans. And again, this could have all easily been avoided if RBG had retired when Obama was in office. And now might have Amy Coney Barrett as a Supreme Court justice who is a part of this religious cult that sounds like maybe inspired some of the writings of the Handmaid's Tale novel, now the popular TV series. So, America.